There were a bunch of them actually not too long ago that I was really disinterested in. It's the same old FRN plastic handle, HCR13 MOV steel, just kind of the same components, slightly different design. Not excited about any of them. That was then, this is now. Hey my friends, this is Late Boy Scout bringing you my review of the Kershaw Freefall. One of those cheap Chinese Kershaws that I thought I said I'd never buy. There were a bunch of them actually not too long ago that I was really disinterested in. I mean, it's just not jonesing for them at all. It's just not good looking knives to me. And I just felt like I wasn't getting enough with them, you know? It's the same old FRN plastic handle, HCR13 MOV steel, just kind of the same components, slightly different design. Not excited about any of them. That was then, this is now. Okay, this is the Freefall, and it's got some great features on it that I'm going to have quite a bit of fun talking about, because I'm excited about this knife, especially for about 25 bucks. Man, that is cool when you can get all these features for that kind of money. So let's get into it. What is it? What is it about this knife that I actually like? All right, so I actually like the K texture on that FRN. It's pretty nice. It's surprisingly grippy. They've done something really cool with this, and they've really, I don't know, knocked it out of the park with that K texture. It's really good. Pretty nice and grippy. The blade shape I actually like quite a lot. It is a tanto, which I don't generally gravitate towards. Tanto, I don't care. However, you can see that there's somewhat of a belly in that shape, in that blade shape down there, and also in this one. Okay, there is some slight curvature to each of those edges. Okay, and the actual the two tips of the tanto. This one right here is quite mild. So sharpening that, just kind of continuously sharpening that, you don't really have to worry about getting a nice sharp edge or sharp tip right here, because you didn't really start out with one. You know, it's kind of it's a very mild kind of tanto shape, and that's, I guess, why I like it. Also, it's got that Rick Hinderer Spanto kind of thing going on. Even though this is not a Rick Hinderer design, it's got that hollow grinding going on right here, and the flat grind going on right up here at the tip, making that a much stronger tip than it might be otherwise. Also a nice swedge cutout, just saves some weight and looks really pretty, really cool. Some jimping up here, which appears rounded, but actually digs my thumb in nicely. I mean, I think the fact that your blade is actually ground up here and thinned out makes that even more aggressive because of that. And I gotta tell you, it really works. The material right here in the back strap, I'm not quite sure what it is. It doesn't feel like a glass-filled nylon. It could be, but it looks a little different. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just glass-filled nylon. Anyway, but that's got a little bit of a jimping on it back here. So, you know, that sort of a thing, lock it into your palm, or perhaps in a reverse grip, your thumb kind of locking on top of that. Sure, I'll take it, and it looks cool. And check out that sweet lanyard hole. Man, that's cool. I love that, man. It's like part of the back strap, and the handle's kind of cut out there. That's awesome. Just really cool features going on here. Of course, an extremely deep carry pocket clip, like completely deep carry. That'll go all the way to the bottom of your pocket. Only that little, you know, screw sticking out. Nobody knows what you've got in there. It just looks like a pen. That is great. Obviously, it is a liner lock. And can we see if any of the liners are drilled out? No, they don't appear to be, which means you're going to get a weight of about 4.3 ounces. If you can live with that, you're in for one heck of an awesome knife. I didn't mention, by the way, that this pocket clip is reversible. You unscrew that one screw. Man, and the design of this, you know, the engineering of this is just so ingenious. I mean, look at that. The liner creates kind of the lock for that pocket clip to kind of lock into, and then that one screw in the center holds it down there. If you want to take it off, you just unscrew that one thing, flip it, reverse it, screw it back on there, and again, the liner here and the liner there are locking it into place, providing those sort of 3 points of contact, keeping it on there very nice and solid. Really cool design. So pocket clip, huge win. Okay, blade shape, big win. Handle shape, look at that curve to it. The way it kind of wraps into your palm, and that works so well. Man, I was just not really expecting something great like this from Kershaw as far as their Chinese-made knives are concerned. But they just knocked it out of the park with this one. This is Kershaw's Chinese-made knife done right. And they've done a lot of them wrong, in my view. All right, so that's kind of what I like about this knife. At least, I think I've covered everything. Just a really cool, very inexpensive Kershaw for you to pick up and add to your EDC knife collection. Now, Walmart did come out with a version of this around Christmas time, Christmas 2013. There it is in all black. Okay, same pocket clip, same design, same everything, same K texture. Everything's the same, or appears to be. We do have the difference of steel type. This is 3CR13, whereas the original is, if I can get it right, the original is 8CR13 MOV. Now, this is a superior steel compared to 3CR13. However, I don't really know to what extent. And chime in down in the comments section if you would like to see me do a head-to-head of these two knives, the two blade steels. Obviously, we're talking about exact same knives. Now, this one is coated, so there's that. Might add a little bit of performance as far as moving through materials. I don't think it would make a big difference, though. This one is stone ground. Doesn't really add texture to it. It's still, you know, pretty slick. However, it should be a pretty good kind of head-to-head comparison. Identical knives, just different steels. If you guys are interested in seeing that, chime in down in the comments section and say so. It's not at the top of my priority list, but I could move it up if you guys are really interested in seeing that. So anyway, that came in a 2-pack with, oh shoot, what's this called? The Swerve, I think it is. Also a sort of a very cheap version of it, the 3CR13 version of it instead of the 8CR13 MOV. And also, neither of these is spring assisted, which the standard one is. You can always de-assist it if you don't like your springs in your knives. I'll take them if they give them to me. So that's kind of why they were able to put these two in a 2-pack for $20. And you may still come across that at Walmart. I don't know if they've gotten rid of all of them or not. But it was kind of a cool deal. I decided to pick it up while they had it. All right, so you guys want to see some testing of this knife, I'm pretty sure. So let's roll some of that in, and I'll talk about how it did. Obviously, I wanted to confirm zero, so to speak, make sure that it had a nice sharp edge on it. So I cut some paper with it just to determine that that was a nice, solid, and clean and sharp edge, and it sliced paper nicely, so obviously it was. Moved on to some cardboard, which it also performed very well at. I was nicely surprised, you know, given that it's 8CR13 MOV. Yeah, it is a relatively larger knife as far as EDC is concerned. That's not really true. It's not, doesn't fit into the EDC Plus category. I consider this kind of in between, you know, in between the two categories of EDC or EDC Plus. However, it did great cutting through cardboard given the size that they give you with this knife. And also those great ergonomics on that handle really rang true in bearing down and slicing through all that cardboard. Did well. Moved on to some wood, to some softer wood. I don't think it's pine, another type, but dug into that for a little while, carved away at that. Wanted to get a sense of, you know, kind of push the edge of the knife and kind of get it to fail if it would, but it didn't. It did just fine. But also get a sense for how it felt to bear down on this knife on some harder materials. And a little bit of softer wood is generally as hard as I'll go for EDC tasks, or definitely for EDC testing. So in that testing, as I pushed down on it and kind of bore down, had my hand wrapped all the way around the thing, I felt like it did really nicely. I did feel that there's a sort of a fulcrum point there in my palm, sort of where the web where my thumb is. And you know, as I bear down on some of that harder materials, the blade gets sort of pushed up, which means that the handle gets kind of pushed into my pinky. Given the rounded and bulky nature of this knife, that did not turn out to be a problem at all. It fills the hand fairly well. So getting some harder work done, some extended cutting done with this knife is actually quite comfortable. HCR 13 MOV steel will hold up to a fair bit of it before it dulls to a level where you can't really use it. And then it will resharpen pretty easily too. So honestly, you're getting a lot with this knife. And again, I used to steer clear of those Chinese-made Kershaws, but this is one that I am really excited about and highly recommend. Once again, the price range around 25 bucks. Man, if you're looking for something new to add to your EDC, check this one out. I think you'll like it. I'm the Late Boy Scout. Thanks very much for watching this review. We'll see you on the next one.